Yeah.
So, breaking news has just hit my inbox, and I know this doesn't relate to Vegas, but we can squeeze this in before we get our podcast out this week. Pirelli has just announced via a press release that in the Qatar round, a maximum of 25 laps per tyre set can be used over the course of the entire weekend. So, drivers each get allocated a certain number of tyres. They're already the hardest compounds available, so each driver gets 2 sets of hard, 4 medium, and 6 softs for the weekend, and they're being limited to 25 laps maximum. So that includes practice, qualifying, sprint race, main race. And it sounds like the reason for this is safety. So I'll quote from their press release. This measure has been deemed necessary following analysis of the tyres used in 2024. Last year, several tyres, particularly the front left, had reached the maximum wear level. These conditions, combined with the high lateral energy, had increased the structural fatigue of the construction. So they're basically saying they don't want drivers to run too long, have a tyre blow out, and cause some sort of safety incident.
So, question,
So-
what happens if they go
But no.
26 laps?
Probably get disqualified. But it means the race is 57 laps. So what this is also effectively doing is mandating 2 pit stops for the race.
Minimum.
Plus, if you're now as a team strategist or team principal, you've got to work out, well, how many laps am I going to run on these sets during quali or practice? Because I need to save some life. Like if you do a 6-lap stint to check fuel loads and degradation in a practice session, well, you've only got 19 laps remaining that you can use that tyre for in the race. So there's a bit of strategy at play in this.
Yeah. It'll make
So
it
this-
interesting.
This 25 laps, is that less than they're normally getting out of the tyres currently?
Well, in some
I'm
at
assuming
some
it
tracks
is.
they could run hards for 50 plus laps, yeah, and they might whether or not they could, they at least have that option from a strategy point of view to run long and run gentle. But because this track's got such high loads on tyres and it's really highly abrasive, they wear out. And if drivers want to push to the limit, I get it, it's dangerous.
Wouldn't the
Wait, so-
tyres at a high level of wear not perform as well for times anyway?
Yes,
Wouldn't
but
the strategists already be working out that once they get that drop off at the end of tyre life, they go, right, we're going to come in for a fresh set, except now they've got to do it twice.
perhaps, but like if you've got a tyre that lasts 25 laps, but you'd love to be able to run it for 30 to 33 laps in a stint, which is over half race distance, right? Like a hard tyre, you would normally do that, and you maybe risk it because the pit stop is pretty long. You don't want to have to do 2 pit stops, perhaps.
So you then can't lift at coast either. Well, there's no benefit to it.
Not really. It's going to run too slow. So I've never heard of a limit like this being put into Formula One before. I don't
Not for
remember it
25
happening.
laps, right.
No. So a really interesting piece of news.
Well, there's been a lot of debate on, Pirelli doing something to make the tyres degrade more so that we do see a little bit more strategy and some of the pit stops having to increase. Because to your point, Dan, is, Punchy back in Brazil, if you remember, did 52 laps on the mediums. So,
It sounds like if they want tyres to degrade, they just run 5 rounds at Qatar next year. Simple.
So, look, Happy, some really interesting news. We'll obviously cover a little bit more of that as we do our preview of Qatar. But yeah, something for everyone just to keep an eye on, posing limitations on the teams.